Hi, welcome to our technically challenged yoga class, but we're here. The video and if you want to keep your video on while we're going, it gives me a chance to see you, and if you have questions or anything along the way, I can tell that you're stopping or raising your hand up. But if you don't want to be recorded for the for people viewing it later, then you can turn it off. It's it'll be up on YouTube, but it'll be for anybody who wants to do the session, at a later time. So it's up to you whether you want your video on or off. You can actually toggle it on and off if you want to turn it off and turn it on when you have a question or something. But I kind of like it on so that I can see you and see if there's anything that might need adjustment. So that's my computer on or video on or off speech. Today we're going to work on just sort of overall getting everything sort of released out, because sort of head to toe, full body stuff. Because it's a really lousy day here. It's gloomy and I just feel like you need the whole body stuff. So we're doing some standing and seated. So we're just going to start out seated. We'll get into our seated mountain. So we want to walk our sit bones right up to the edge of our chair. So we're sitting right on the edge, even on our sit bones, and you can feel the difference between when you are sitting back, so sort of slouchy, and when you sit up, your hips will sort of shift. The front pointy parts will shift down a little bit away from your shoulders. And you notice that's where you want them to be. Not a super arch in your back, but just so that natural curve is allowed to be in your lower back. When we slouch, it rounds it. And so when we want to be in our yoga, we want to be in our seated poses, we want to be where that natural curve is just sort of setting just right. So go ahead and wiggle around and get yourself nice and even on those sit bones. I'm just going to start with noticing where our feet are. About hip width apart. I'm just going to start by letting our knees flop from side to side, so you can hold on to the side of your chair and just let them flop back and forth, because it loosens the lower back a little bit. And then bring that back to center and just press into your feet a little bit. Let that energy come up your legs. Press down into your sit bones. Lift up out of your hips. Nice long spine. If your shoulders creep up to your ears, let them drop away. Let's just rest our hands on our lap. Let's have our palms up just to notice the difference between palms up and palms down. Let yourself take a nice deep breath in. Right through the tip of the nose, all the way down. Right into the base of your lungs. And then when you feel like your lungs are full all the way down to the base, fill them a little bit more and extend your fingers. So it's over breathing into our hands. And then when that's all full, go ahead and let your fingers release, and as you release the air. So we're going to do maybe 3 more full breaths like that. So when you have your lungs all filled up, and then let your fingers just extend out. So you're sending that breath right down into the tips of each finger. And then exhale it out, let your fingers relax. When you think all the air is out, squeeze a little bit more. And go for the next inhale. Feel all the body parts expanding. Your ribs, the front and the back, all the way through to your fingertips. And let that relax out as you exhale. Let's take inventory of our shoulders. Just circle one shoulder and just notice how it feels, how it's moving in the shoulder blade and in the shoulder socket. And then go the other way. And then take the other side and sort of compare and contrast and see if that's moving or stuck. We're not judging it. We just want to know so that we know how to move. And then go ahead and bring that forward. mean to keep clearing my throat like I'm going to say something really important. It's more that there's pollen in the air. And I have to keep clearing my throat, so I apologize for that. Let's go ahead and keep with our shoulders. Let's like one arm hang loose and just let that arm swing. Again, you notice just, is it swinging? Does it get stuck? Does it ratchet in any place? You know, we're not judging it. We're just trying to see what's going on. So we're going to switch that over to the other side and see how loose that's feeling, or how maybe not loose. And let that go. Let's bring our hands across our chest. And we're going to inhale, we're going to open up as though we're in a picture frame. So that your heart reach forward. And then we're going to exhale and close those arms around our heart again. Inhale, go ahead, open up, reach your heart out, and then exhale that back down. Shake out the fingers. Let's do some flicks. And shake that out. Do a little hand meditation. It's an interesting way to center ourselves. So then swing both arms. Just gonna get the blood going down into our fingers. And let that go. Let your hands rest on your lap. You can let your eyes drift closed if you want to. You can just sort of focus on something on the floor in front of you. We're going to bring those hands off our lap up just about like an inch or two. And without really looking at them, go ahead and turn your palms to face each other. And imagine you've got like a ball or a soft ball and you're sort of squeezing it, and see how close you're squeezing your hands out. And as your hands sort of come close to each other, see if you notice like there almost is an air ball there. It's like to me the feeling is that like magnets that are at the opposite ends, and so you're just really slowly pulsing together and see if you get that feeling of like you almost resist each other. You almost have this little ball there. And then throw the ball and flip our hands, and I don't know if you felt that, but I think it's interesting because it feels like that opposite magnet thing. And let's just go ahead and circle out both shoulders. And then squeeze the shoulder blades together and come forward. Sticking with the shoulders, but moving down the spine a little bit. Let's reach one arm out. And then reach forward without hinging forward. You're just releasing at the shoulder blade. So you reach another couple of inches forward, just by letting the shoulder blade release. And when it's all released out, go ahead and sweep your arm across to the other shoulder. Nice straight elbow. Reach out through the fingertips and give you a little help with the other hand. Lift up nice and tall, and then turn and look over that shoulder. And let that go. Let's take the same arm. You're going to reach out from the shoulder blade. This time I'm going to sweep across to the opposite hip and hold it in. And look over that shoulder. And let's let that go and shake it out. Switch over to the other side. Let's reach out that, you're reaching forward without actually hinging forward. So you're just releasing that shoulder blade. Notice how that feels. Notice if your shoulder went up to your chin, to your ears. Let it relax down. And with a breath in, go ahead and sweep that hand across to the opposite shoulder. Nice straight elbow. And exhale, turn your head to look over that shoulder. And just notice you'll feel some lengthening in the shoulder blade around the rotator cuff. Exhale into that. Now let's let that go. Let's reach it out one more time. We're going to sweep it across to the opposite hip and have a look over that shoulder. On the inhale, you want to notice your posture and sort of straighten it if you started to slouch, and on the exhale, just see if you can relax into the lengthening. And let that go. Let's drop our chin down to our chest. And just let it swing from one shoulder to the other like it's a pendulum. You're swinging back down to your chest and over to one shoulder. Back down your chest over the other shoulder. And let that go. Notice if things feel like they're opening up at all when you weigh down the spine. So let's keep moving down the spine. Now we're going to take a breath in. Hands are on your lap, and we're going to exhale. We're going to start rounding our back from the middle of our back. So the breath starts the movement, and it starts in the middle of our back. So we don't drop our head down and round down from the top. We're going to round down from the center. So nice breath in, and then go ahead and let your middle back sort of press towards the chair behind you. And as that stretches back, arches back, let your ribs sort of open up, separate from each other. Your shoulder blades are separating from each other. Then you can round your shoulders and drop your chin. And on your next inhale, we're going to come forward the same way. You let your belly sort of start the action, and then let your ribs open up, your collarbones and shoulders stretch to reach back. And you can look up maybe where the ceiling and the wall meet. Let's do that 3 more times, following your breath. So we're going to inhale here, and on the exhale, start the exhale and then start the movement. And we're going to start with that rounding of the back from the center. And just let it go right up your spine. And then the inhale starts from the belly. Big breath in here, and on the exhale, go ahead and round it down again. And then we're going to inhale, arching like I think this is the dog pose. My dog does this every time he gets up. And then we're going to go back to one more rounding. We'll end on a rounded. And then go ahead and back up to center. That always feels good. We've both tried to open up our spine a little bit, front and back. Let's go a little bit side to side. So you can take one hand on the side of your chair, and you can just lean over and let that follow the leg down. And just let your body lean to the side. If it feels comfortable, you can sweep that arm up. And then come on back up. And let's go ahead and put it the other side. You can have your hand on the chair, on the seat of the chair, or you can slide it down one of the legs of the chair, whatever's more comfortable, and let your body just turn to the side. And if it's comfortable, you can let that arm come up. If you've got any shoulder issues, you can keep that arm down and just get the stretch in your side. You should feel that lengthening all down your side. So you can press that left sit bone back into the chair. And then inhale, we're going to come back up. Side to side movement. Now we're going to do a little twisting so we get the vertebrae moving every direction that they're supposed to move. So let's put our hands, start with our fingertips on our shoulders. Let's bring your elbows to the front. We're going to start with some circles. Just make sure their shoulders are opened up. And notice what's going on. Bring yourself in. If there's pain as you rotate back, just come to the side and drop down then. We don't want to work through the pain. We don't want pain. You're not good. This isn't the gym where there's no pain, no gain. And then go ahead and let your elbows reach out. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears and really try and extend out through the points of your elbows. And then we're going to turn from one side to the other. Sort of, you're leading with your elbows, but you're letting your whole trunk turn. So you're turning all the way down your tailbone. The next time the right elbow is back, see how far you can press it back. Let your left hand drop down onto your left knee. And then open up that right hand, and if it's comfortable, look back at it. Then sweep that hand up. You can rest on your left elbow and let that right hand come up overhead. If it's comfortable, you can go ahead and sweep it all the way over towards that left big toe. Nice exhale in the neck. Feel that lengthening on the side, and inhale that back up and around. Feeling like I need to do the other side now. Bring our fingertips back to our shoulders and reach out through those elbows. Then we'll do a couple more twists. Next, on the left elbow is back. See if you can press it back even further. Let your right hand come down to your right leg. Open up that left hand. Straighten that elbow. See if you can look over your fingertips. And then we're going to sweep that left fingertips up. Then rest on your right elbow. And if it's comfortable, look up at your fingertips. That's fine. If not, you can just look straight ahead. And then sweep, if it's comfortable, let that left hand sweep over towards your big toe, big right toe. And then bring that around. Let's just take another breath or two and see how we're feeling. Notice what's going on, if you're feeling warm or if there's body parts that are screaming out for attention. Go ahead and separate our feet a little bit, almost mat width apart. A little more with the spine, and we work our way down towards the hips. We're going to sweep our hands up. And we're just going to lazy ragdoll, like we're just going to sweep them down, floppy, and let your arms just sweep down and reach under your chair. So on the inhale, we're going to sweep them back up. Inhaling up. And exhale, just let yourself slowly fold down. If you have a rung of your chair, you can see if you can reach that and sort of tuggle it. You can use the legs of your chair. You can hold on and just sort of give that a little extra stretch. Try and keep your tailbone in the chair. And let's let that go, and we're going to inhale them back up and let those arms come around on an exhale. That feels good. We're going to keep opening up the hips, and then we'll do a little standing. So let's extend out one leg. I'm going to start with my right. So make sure you're at the edge of your seat so we're not sitting on any of the areas we're trying to lengthen. So reach out through your heel, lift up out of those hips, shoulders drop away from our ears. We're hinging at the hips. We're aiming our heart down towards our kneecap. So we're going to lift up on an inhale, and exhale, we're going to hinge, nice straight back, just hinging at the hips. Not aiming our chin down, aiming our heart down towards our knee. And find that place where you start to feel the lengthening. And exhale into the really ooey spot, but just notice where it is. You just want to know where it is. You don't want to stay there. And inhale out of it a little bit. So you're just at that first sensation. And go ahead and exhale. See if it wants to let go a little bit. Inhale, come up just a little bit out of it, and then exhale down. And go ahead and take that opposite hand and reach towards the ankle. We'll inhale our way back up. Let's take that same leg and extend it out to the side, like half of a letter V. You want to do the same thing, but we're gonna aim our heart down towards the mat. So we're just going down to the middle. So exhale, hinging forward. And just feel that a little bit on the underside of your leg as well as the inside of your extended leg. And again, you're noticing just where you start to feel that sensation. You can look for the edge, the ooh, but don't stay there. You can find where it is, but then come back out of it to just that first resistance. Exhale into it a little bit, and then come on back up. Now you're going to turn towards the bent knee. Let your right hand just come down on your right thigh. We're going to turn so that our face of our shoulder is sort of in line with the kneecap. We're going to go sideways down toward that kneecap. You want to keep your body, your left shoulder's reaching back as you're hinging sideways, and you should feel that mostly in your inner thigh. I'm not going to go very far on that one because it compresses your ribs, and I have a broken rib, so I'm just going to go about here. And let that go and come back up. Let's take that same leg, you're bending it, we're just going to circle it. Open up that hip a little bit. And then the other way. And let's extend the left leg out, reaching out to the heel. Lift up out of those hips. And then exhale, go ahead and hinge forward, aiming our heart down towards our knee. Again, find your spot where you feel that initial sensation, and then where you feel the ooh, that's too much, and come back to the initial. And then come out of it a little bit, and then exhale into it again. Just see if that initial sensation spot moves so that you like release a little bit. So inhaling up and exhaling. And then kind of reach that opposite hand towards the ankle. Exhale into that. And come on back up, and let's sweep that leg out to the side. So you're in this V, half a V. And we're going to lift up out of our hips and hinge forward. And you feel this on the underside and the inside of your extended leg. And come on back up. And so we're going to turn towards the bent knee. Let your left hand sort of come down along your left leg. Aim that left shoulder towards the kneecap. Pressing the right shoulder back. Go ahead and let that slide sideways. You'll feel that mostly in the inner thigh. And bring that back up, and let's bring that knee back to bent, and we're just going to circle those hips, circle the leg one way and then the other way. We're going to move our hips this way, so let's go ahead and bring our knee up to our shoulder. You can use assistance, you can use your hand, you can use a strap. So you want to keep your back nice and straight. This is working the hip, not the back. So you want to round our back to get our knee up. If just wherever your knee gets to, if it gets to here and your back starts to round, then only go to here. We're just getting the hip moving. Now let's switch over. And let that go. Let's do, we're pretty much warmed up. We've covered most of our body parts to warm up before we do a sun salutation, which covers our all the major joints. So, but first if you have a block or books, I just need one. Something sort of book size, maybe a box of brownie mix. Think about that size. We're just gonna use it as a prop. We're gonna hold it out in front of us. Go ahead and hinge forward at the hips. So we're on the edge of our seat, and our feet are right under our knees, ankles under our knees. And as we it's like a rowing. So as we come back, we're gonna lean back toward the back of our chair and pull that block towards us. And then we're gonna extend it back out again. Sort of like a rowing move. We're just getting everything lengthened out here. So exhale as you're reaching out, inhale as you're pulling back. Go ahead and lean back a little bit so you have to use your core muscles there. So reaching out and coming back. One more time. Inhaling back. The block is also a good thing to use to sort of help if you're not sure if you're having shoulder issues. You can hold your block and inhale up, and you can see if you can straighten your elbows. Notice how that motion from maybe here to here not only lengthens the arms, that you can feel your ribs open up a little more too. So it's kind of a good prop to use sometimes if you're really stiff. It gives you a sense of, a little more reaching. You're going to bring that down and exhale. We'll do a sun salutation in the chair, and then we'll do a standing one. So the sun salutations are a way of sort of honoring in the physical part, we're working every major joint. But in the sort of yogic sense, we're also opening up to the sun and the earth and sort of the space in between where we are. So it's kind of honoring all of us. So let's have our ankles right under our knees. And we're at the edge of our seat. Shoulders drop away from our ears, but we're lifting up out of our hips. We're going to start by dropping our hands down and turn your palms out so your whole arm turns all the way up to your shoulder socket. Start the inhale first, and then go ahead and let the arms sweep up. Exhale them open. Greet the sun, which isn't out today, but he's up there somewhere. Bring your hands back together. Reach, turn your palms out. Big exhale out. Circle those shoulders. Now we're going to turn our palms out again. Inhale up. Exhale open. Greeting the sun. Inhale, reach, and then we're going to bring our arms into a swan dive. So reach out, and then we're going to swan dive, reaching your heart out and then down towards the mat. Go ahead and touch the earth. Say hello to all the worms that are coming out because it's so wet out. Now we're going to bring our forearms to our thighs. And just sort of relax there on your forearms. Your chin is neutral. Your neck is in line with your spine. So you don't want to drop your head down. Then you can put pressure into those forearms and let your shoulders and your heart come up. It's like a cobra. So your shoulders are up and you're like reaching your heart out. And then we can go ahead and inhale, come the rest of the way up. We're going to take one knee and pull it towards the shoulder. Then kick that leg out. Hinge, aiming your heart towards your knee. And then go ahead and bring that back up. Drop our hands down. Turn them out. Inhale up. Exhale, open. Inhale, reach, and then we're going to bring our hands down into a T. Swan dive down. Reaching down to the earth. And we'll bring our forearms up to our thighs again. And then go ahead and press into those forearms, let the heart reach out. And then we're going to inhale up. We're going to take the other leg and bring it to our shoulder, and this one we can round our back a little bit. And then kick that leg out. Reaching out through the heel. Hinging forward, heart down towards our knee. And then come back up, let that knee bend. Drop our hands down. Turn our palms outward. Inhale up one more time. Greeting the sun, opening up. So we're going to press our palms together, bring them down to our heart, and honor our space in between the sun and the earth. Ah, how's that feel? Before we stand, I want to do a little bit of face yoga. And given that when we go out, we have to wear masks, I was going to focus on eyes. I'm just going to take a moment to do some eyeball yoga. I'm not sure what to call that. First, we can just start with the brows. So go ahead and just like raise them up and down like you're surprised and then not. Surprised and then neutral. And then get them into that surprise space and take your forefinger and your middle finger and press into the right underneath them. And then try and frown against your fingers. And let that go. And now we'll do the opposite. So now we're going to frown and place your fingers above your eyebrows. And then try and raise them up. And let that go. Now we're just going to do a, go ahead and, we're going to go around the clock with our eyes. So we're going to start out, to look up at 12 o'clock as high as you can reach and blink back to center. Then we're going to go over to 1 o'clock and blink back to center. 2 o'clock, back to center. Sweep them over to 3 o'clock, back to center. Down to 4 o'clock, and then 5 o'clock, back to center, down to 6 o'clock, back to center. Follow through 7, back to center, 8, back to center over to 9, back to center up to 10, back to center, 11, and back up to 12. Now we're just going to do the 12, 6, 9, 3, so way up to 12, and then all the way down to 6, all the way over to 9, and over to 3, and then we're just going to get back to center and blink. And then go ahead and scrunch your face up like you just had a lemon. And then let it relax. And we're going to smile, because we smile with our eyes, so we have to do the whole smile. And then let that go. We'll do a little bit with our mouth too, because we can still speak through our masks. So we have to speak louder, and that's hard for some of us. So let's go ahead and get some mouth yoga in there. So let's start out with some popping. Now we're going to do some lips, horse's breath. You inhale, and then your lips are very softly touching. And exhale out through your lips. So it's and then go ahead and do that with your tongue too. Let's open our mouth as wide as you can, and then wrap your lips around your teeth. And let that go. Tap the jaw. That feels good. Let's go ahead and stand and do a standing sun salutation. So we're going to have our ankles behind our knees, come to the edge of your feet. Okay, shift your weight forward so your nose is over your toes. And then as though you're going to do the breaststroke, we're going to shift our weight to our feet and reach your arms out and go ahead and stand. And then we're going to bring our chair to the front of our mat. And I'm going to adjust the camera so you can see my head. Okay. You want to have your chair at the front of your mat, so you can rely on it not to slip if you happen to grab hold of it for balance. So let's step our feet. Can be hip width to shoulder width apart. We're just going to shift our weight from one leg to the other. And go ahead and let your arms be floppy. If you want to hold on with one arm, that's fine. And let that go. And come back to feet about hip width apart. And let's just notice what's going on with our ankles. When we're seated, we don't really do much with our ankles. So let's go ahead and get our ankles a little flexed before we go into our standing sun salutation. So go ahead and just bend those ankles and knees and make sure the ankles are nice and flexed. You can put a little more weight on one side, just to notice how that ankle's going. Over to the other side. My left ankle is definitely much tighter than my right ankle. Let's go ahead and do a lunge just to get the ankles and the calves lengthened out, since we can't really do that when we're seated. So come nice and close to your chair. We're going to shift your weight to the left leg and step that right one back. Go ahead and let that heel come down on the right. You're going to bend that left knee, but make sure it's under the ankle's under your knee, so you're not overextending the knee. Press down to the heel in the back. Notice that you didn't turn to step that foot back, that your hips are facing forward. And you can rock on the toe a little bit and get that calf sort of lengthening, and then go ahead and let that heel come down again. Now come up on your toes a little bit and pivot that heel out so it's facing towards the outside of your mat, and then go ahead and bring that heel down again. You'll feel the lengthening on the inner part of your calf now. We don't usually get that spot. It feels really good. And go ahead and let that come forward. And let's go ahead and shift your weight to that right leg. Let the left one step back. Press that heel down. And the right knee can bend. You want to keep it over the ankle, so if you have to step that foot forward to do that, that's okay. Make sure your hips are facing forward, and you can come up and down on the ball of your toe and the heel on the left, rocking sort of. And then let that heel come down again. And then come up on your ball of your foot and sweep that heel out towards the outside of your mat, and then bring it back down. Just get the inside of that calf. And go ahead and step that forward. And just take just a couple breaths in, and maybe a few more ankle bends, knee and ankle bends, to just notice if that loosened it up a little bit. The next time you come up, just hold that and notice what brought you up, so what muscles are you using when you're sort of popping up. Now we'll bend our knees again, bend your knees and ankles again. And this time to come up, instead of popping up, let's press down into the feet, down into the mat, and push away from the ground so that you're straightening up. And notice, to me, there's a difference. It's subtle. But when I'm just bending my knees and coming up and down, I feel like my torso sort of bringing me up. I'm almost lifting up, to like the upper part of my thigh and up. Where if I'm really focusing on pushing into the ground and coming up, it's all my lower legs. It's like it's my thighs all the way down. I feel more grounded. So sometimes when I'm like, I'll stop myself walking sometimes because I'm like flailing all over, my upper body and lower body aren't paying attention to each other. I'll stop like mid-step and stop my dog and stop and sort of do a couple of these and press into the ground. And my gait will be smoother after I do that. It's like I lower the base of my muscles, and I'm like having the upper and lower body talk. So it's just, if you have issues with your gait, or sometimes when you start going too fast, and it's very grounding, and it helps me with my gait anyway. So just do that up there. So let's go ahead and come nice and close to our chair. And we're gonna step back just maybe a foot away from, maybe half a foot to a foot away. We want it nice and close, but we don't want to whack it. Let's go ahead and press down into the mat. Bend those knees just a little bit and push away from the ground to feel that lengthening. Let your shoulders come up, your shoulder blades are just going to squeeze together and then glide down your back. We're going to turn our palms out. Bend your knees slightly. And as we raise our hands up on an inhale, we're going to straighten the legs at the same time. Exhale, open. Greet that sun. Inhale, reach. And exhale, back down. So we're going to turn the chair so that the seat is facing us. That side. We're going to do that same, bending our ankles and knees and turn our palms out. So we bend our knees, turn our palms out. Inhale up as you straighten your legs. Exhale, open. Inhale, reach, and then we're going to bring our arms into a T and swan dive down to the chair. You can bend your knees here as much as you want or need to. And then we're going to step one foot back and let that heel press down. And the other foot goes to meet it. So you're pressing your heels down and hinging at the hips as you're reaching your tailbone back towards the wall behind you. So your ankles are behind your hips. You're sort of a sideways letter V. And maybe I'll go sideways so you can see that better. Go ahead and come back up to standing while I move this around so you can see it better. So do that again so that you'll move it back. Okay. See that better? There. We're going to come nice and close to our chair. And go ahead and bend those knees and ankles. Turn palms out, inhaling out. Exhaling, open. Inhale, reach. We're going to come down into a T with our arms. Go ahead and bend those knees and sweep your arms down to the chair. And then we're going to step right foot back, pressing down with the heel. The left foot goes to meet it. As you press down through the heels, you're hinging your tailbone back. You're hinging at the hips and shoulders, so your ears are coming between your arms. Notice if you have a death grip on the chair, see if you can release your fingers and just have your fingers sort of spread a little bit and relaxed, more sort of touching the pads of your fingers down. Shoulder blades should be releasing away from each other. If you have any lower back pain, go ahead and bend your knees. And from here, if you have any shoulder issues, skip this step. This is a good shoulder strengthener. We're going to bring that right foot forward and hinge at the hips so you have a nice straight back leg. And then go ahead and let that back leg step back, right leg step back. And just hold with your shoulders, nice strong shoulder supporter. And then you're going to push away from the chair again, tailbone reaches back. Now let's step one foot forward and then the other. Nice generous bend in your knees. Bowing down to the earth. Push away from the floor. Let yourself come back up. Turn your palms out. Sweep them up. Exhale them open. Inhale, reach, and then exhale to a swan dive. First with your arms in a T, swan dive back down to the chair. Bend your knees and this time step the left foot back. And then reach that heel down. Let the right foot go back to meet the left. Push away from the chair. Tailbone reaches back, hinging at the hips and at the shoulders. Saying hello to the earth. Go ahead and hinge forward. Supporting yourself with your nice strong shoulders. Exhale that back. Step that left foot forward, reaching that right heel down. Reach the right foot forward, bend those knees. Push away from the earth, come on back up. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, open. Inhale, palms together, interlace your fingers at the index fingers reach up. We're going to exhale to one side. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. Back to center. Inhale, reach, let those fingers release. Exhale down. Palms turn out. Inhale up. Exhale open. Inhale, bring your palms together. Down to your heart. Namaste. That was our sun salutation. Let's go ahead and now back in the chair and do a little twist and a little pulling down. We'll come back to seated and we'll do the opposite that we did when we stood. You can cross your arms or you can use your arms for support. So you're using just your legs to sit. You're going to bend those ankles and knees and come on down into that seated. I think it was true. And the cushion. So let's get one more twist in there. Let's go ahead and reach the left arm out across to your right shoulder. And the right arm can go behind. If there's any shoulder pain, just have it rest on your lap. And if you can reach it behind your back, to the left hip. So you're pressing on the left hand on the right shoulder and right hand on the left hip. On inhale, we're going to lengthen up. Exhale, press into that shoulder, go ahead and turn to the right. I'm not going to turn much because that's the side the rib's broken on. So on inhale, you lift up. Exhale, turn more into the twist. And when you're as far twisted as you think you're going to go, keep your hands where they are and just turn your head to look over the other shoulder. And uncoil that. And we're going to reach that right arm out and cross to the left shoulder. And the left hand comes back to the back of the right hip. Again, we're going to lengthen up on an inhale. And exhale, go ahead into the twist. Make sure you're shifting at the tailbone and the hips, as well as at the ribs. So we're not just turning our head back, our whole body is twisting. So inhale and lengthen up, and exhale more into the twist. When you think you're all twisted, just keep your hands where they are and turn your head to each other. To look over the other shoulder. And uncoil that. So I'll do one more cool down before we relax. This is clouds in heaven. Since it's such a cloudy day, I thought we'll do clouds in heaven. So you bring your fingertips touching and your palms are facing out. And we inhale up to our heart. And we turn our palms and take our heart energy and reach it up to the clouds, sun and clouds, and reach, and then exhale up, bring your arms down, round again. We'll do that 3 times. We're going to inhale up. Exhale, take your heart energy, reach into the clouds in heaven. Release it because it needs us. Exhale back down. One more time. Inhaling up. Turn, push that energy up. Exhale back down. Now we can relax. So we don't have to sit up straight anymore. We can lean back in our chair. We can kick our feet up. We're just going to take inventory. So you can put your legs, you can bring your legs up on a block or on your desk, or let's just start with our forehead. Just notice if it's wrinkled, and if your eyebrows are stitched, if you let your eyebrows just drift away from each other. Take a breath in and notice what else is going on in your face. If your teeth are clenched or you let your eyes drift closed, and then notice that space between your eyelids and see if you can soften that. Do the same thing with your lips. If you can soften that space between the top and the bottom lip. And then bring that softening right down your neck, into your shoulders. Breath in, next exhale, send that all the way down each arm. Let your fingers reach out and then relax them again. And send that same smoothing energy down your hips, down each leg, right out your toes. Focus on your breathing and take a nice deep breath in. See if you can fill all the spaces that we opened up. Exhale and release out anything that got stuck there. relax. Inhale, go ahead and wiggle your fingers and toes and scrunch up your nose. And let me say one of my favorite little Emily Dickinson. It's just a stanza from a poem, but it's hope is the thing. Hope is the thing that all right, I'll get it. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches on the soul and sings the song without the words and doesn't stop at all. Go ahead and wiggle your jaw and let that wrinkle your nose and blink, eyebrows up, back down, soften that face. Drop our hands down to the side, turn our palms out, inhale up. This takes a little bit of that heart energy that we send into the heavens and bring it back into our hearts. And may the sun shine upon us, love surround us, and peace fill us. And may there be hope. Namaste.